4 points off turnovers in favor of OKC with 12 steals. Anthony Edwards back in the game. Just 4 points in the quarter for Minnesota. They trail now by 11, the largest deficit of the day. Edwards bumped. No basket, but he will shoot 2.
And Chet very frustrated. If you notice, if Anthony gets the corner turned, what's the first thing he sees? The next closest defender's body. And Mark is literally, I think, trying to take a hard look at this to see if they should challenge the shot. See, they're going to try to show him a crowd. And that drive left, try to draw contact, is something we've seen before. And so Anthony Edwards gets the benefit of that whistle there.
Just 4 of 7 at the free throw line. Third team foul in the Thunder. None yet on Minnesota here in this final frame. 16 points for Edwards, coming off a 42-point game. He had 36 the previous game, only once in his NBA career as he had 3 straight 35-point games. Doesn't appear that today's going to be the second time as he misses another foul shot. It's 4 for 8.
Oh,
McCain
stop it.
Switches through a three-pointer.
Isaiah Hartenstein just showing off right now. Puts that pass between his legs to an easy 3.
The slam by Gobert. How about the pickup by Sam Presti? Jared McCain for another team's first-round pick and multiple second-round picks. You get McCain, a guy that showed flashes of being a star early last year in Philly before injury. Joe gives it up to Hartenstein. Behind the back again. Joe driving, feeds the cutting Holmgren. Kept alive. 2 to shoot. Mitchell gets it away. Batted around. Pinballs to Holmgren. And then a foul on Randall. His 4th.
So Hartenstein for the second consecutive year, they're giving him all kinds of love. When you deliver this kind of pass, you know your teammates can appreciate it. He had the behind the backdrop pass to McCain for a 3 earlier in the game. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gonna say, "Ooh, look at how pretty that is." That is so good.
Now Hartenstein's a very underrated passer. He averages about 3 assists per game. Does a lot of the dirty work. Had 6 early offensive rebounds in this game. An 11-point advantage for the Thunder, with SGA still on the bench and still at 10 points, 10 away from keeping the streak alive. Baked in 3 by Mitchell.
He gave a little MJ shrug. I do not think he called bank. And it is a Sunday, so they're definitely not open.
Randall driving, circus shot, no, but he was fouled. But again, you go back to a team like Oklahoma City winning a championship with this great nucleus, terrific chemistry. Any move you make, you've got to do as much work on the person as you do the player. And Sam Presti, now with Bob Myers no longer GM, has the best GM hair in the league. Did a terrific job going out and adding Jared McCain.
I might sense a little note of envy for my partner.
Not just a little.
Well, so this is the bank is open on a Sunday afternoon for A.J. Mitchell. He gave the little shrug, and he's going to give a second one like, yeah, you know what, I just do it like that. But to your point about Sam,
Yeah, because if they lose,
did well. Like very few misses in the draft. Savvy midseason pickup, as you noted with McCain. Just just a really well-run organization, and give the league credit for setting up a system that gives these a chance.
Right on cue is McKay. He can't miss right now. He's 5 of 7 from 3. They were down 7 late in the third. Now they're up 15, and the bench has 57 of the 100 points. DiVincenzo answers for 3.
This is an important moment, right? I mean, before that win against Golden State, it was 3 straight losses by a combined 66 points. So you got to find somebody to get a little fight and keep the pressure on Oklahoma City right here if you're Minnesota.
Yeah, because if they lose, they're just a game in the loss column out of the play-in as Gilgeous-Alexander puts up an air ball on the 3. He is 3 for 17. And he's having his worst game of the season, maybe his worst game in 2 seasons, and they're still up double figures. He's 0 for his last 6. And 6 minutes to go to extend the streak to 128 consecutive 20-point games. Randall has it poked away, but gathers it back. Caruso saying, I didn't touch it, so it should have been a turnover on Randall. Shot clock down to 5. DiVincenzo rocking it and has his pocket picked. A turnover. It's number 21 for Minnesota. Gilgeous-Alexander downhill, now up to 12 points.
You guys okay back there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hands-free highway driving for a hands-on life. Ford Blue Cruise.
Will you be there when the road gets dark? When adversity comes out of nowhere? When we misjudge the size of a parking spot?
Yeah, we can help. Just file a claim on the State Farm app or call an agent if you want to speak to a real person.
Thanks, Jake. Will you be there when my brother says I have this much space? I said this much. You call Dad. You call Dad. No, you call Dad. No, you call Dad.
I'll call their dad. State Farm with the assist.
From the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, the Ego 22-inch aluminum deck mower with Select Cut is the most powerful mower in its class, featuring an aluminum deck that allows for extreme blade speeds, producing the perfect razor-sharp cut. Designed for durability that's guaranteed for life. All powered by Ego's patented 56-volt arc lithium battery. One battery powers all tools. Find an Ego retailer near you.
I can handle that for you. I can handle
Helping
that.
Adrian Brody prepare for his role as a TurboTax expert has been interesting.
I can handle that for you.
Try less intense. We do people's taxes for them on their phone or in person so that they can relax.
Yeah, I know, but it's taxes, so when do they cry?
No, they don't cry. They just go home happy.
And then they cry?
There's no crying. He's so committed.
Can I cry?
The Colonel knew folks hated Mondays, so he made sure Tuesdays were finger-licking good with 8 pieces of juicy, crispy chicken or tenders for just $10. It's TGI Tuesday. $10, 8 pieces, one big deal. KFC $10 Tuesdays.
Since 2018, Cricket Wireless has been supporting the journey and vision of HBCU students. And with Apple Intelligence on iPhone 16e, nothing gets in the way of your passion. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Welcome back to NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC, presented by Popeyes.
Well, Mr. McCain, you said it. He can't miss right now. He's done that right to left into that top of the key 3 a couple of times. Just a dead sprint. Concentration in the face of the Dosunmu rear view contest. And watch Jalen Williams' reaction from the bench. It's going to be, oh my God. He cannot believe how hot Jared McCain has been.
5 of 7 for McCain. Now 35 threes in 16 games played. And how about the bench for the Thunder? 11 of their 14 threes have come from the reserves.
57 points, outscoring the starters. Starters have 45.
And just 12 for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, whose streak of 127 straight 20-point games, an NBA record, is in jeopardy as Edwards is fouled. And the Thunder over the limit, so that's one way that Minnesota can get back in the game. But Edwards is 4 of 8 at the line.
Boy, they're going to make him play in a crowd. You just saw it. How about Casey Wallace? Like, fast hands. Just incredibly fast hands.
I showed you that graphic of the assists next to the poor shooting as Edwards misses another free throw for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So not having a good day as a scorer, but 10 assists and no turnovers. One of 2 for Edwards, 17 points. Still plenty of time, 5.5 to go in a 13-point game.
I mean, I know he hasn't shot well, but boy, has his mind stayed right where it's needed to be.
Working here on Dosunmu, trying to create space with that step back, and he got it. 14 points now.
A little smile crosses his face. Listen, he can percolate quick.
Randall's got 28. Gets tied up by Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's just made so many plays on the defensive end. Such respect for this young man. Tough shooting night, streak on the line. The guy's just doing all the right things. They talk about his consistency. This is what they're talking about. Circumstances maybe not all going his way individually, but where's his head at? It's with the group.
His coach, Mark Daigneault, says, yes, he wants to be one of the greats, but he also wants to be one of the guys. In terms of how he talks to his teammates, his availability for the young players, how he navigates the locker room. He's as consistent as anybody in the NBA at everything he does.
He can make 2 shots and get it 20.
There's his first turnover. And then Edwards has it ripped away by Caruso, who's fouled on the other end. Boy, Alex Caruso and how he impacts the game defensively. We see it time in, time out. As Edwards is a little shaken up.
So Mark Daigneault talks about if Alex is going to play 15 minutes or 12, you are going to get a completely locked-in guy for the entire time he's on the floor. His ability to stay in the present moment is at the top of the list.
4th foul on Edwards. And Caruso adds another point. That's 16 now. McCain to the bench. An ovation from the crowd. Thunder head out on the road after this, 5 straight away from Oklahoma City. Starting Tuesday at Orlando. They play the Lakers twice. They have to play the Pistons. To make it 8 straight wins and 11 of 12 since the All-Star break with a win today. They're up 15, 4.5 to go. Randall on the attack. And a foul that will send him to the line, where he's 5 of 6. 3rd foul on Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, Minnesota had moments in this game. They've had moments in this season. But you look at their record, and at 41-26, after 49 wins last year, now they made the conference finals last year despite being the 6th seed. Do you see right now, given the inconsistencies, a contender?
No, I do not. And the inconsistencies can span over games or inside of the game as it has today. And they are one of a handful of teams that there's a tremendous variance between the best and worst of them. You see it with the New York Knicks. You see it with the Houston Rockets. Aside from, San Antonio, OKC, Boston is remarkably consistent in terms of their level. Detroit, another team that's consistent. Their offense can worry me, but no, not yet.
That is the concerning thing about Minnesota. The lows for the Wolves are really low. giving up 153 to the Clippers as they turn it over. Love to Holmgren for the flop. But Minnesota turned it on in the postseason last year. They're certainly capable and talented enough, and they have a great coaching staff. As Randall kicks to the corner, DiVincenzo's three is on target. Back within 12, 3.5 to go. 16 points for DiVincenzo, 4 3-pointers. He also has 9 rebounds. In the Wolves defense, which is 11th this year after being number
of just 2. The prize of Champions League qualification is potentially on offer. Jan Diamande racing away to create the first chance for Leipzig today. Just got well in behind Ramon Hendricks, but Romelu, the outstretched boots, couldn't make full connection. And Christoph Baumgartner it was with the first time volley from Raum's corner. Just the wrong side of the post from the Austrian international, who has 10 goals to his name this season. As the half progressed, Stuttgart came ever more into the game. Amadin Demirovic saw his shot deflected up and over. Castello with the intervention. And then El Canus with the deep cross, and Chris Führich into the side netting. His 150th Bundesliga appearance for Stuttgart today. Been in impressive form recently, Chris Führich, but off target here. And then David Raum with the interception. Found the run of Christoph Baumgartner, who would have hoped and expected to do better from that position. Leipzig's best opportunity of the half just blazed over by Baumgartner, and then a minute or so later Stuttgart created a gilt-edged opportunity of their own. Chris Führich dancing to create, and Demirovic would have expected to at least get that header on target. So, at the end of the first 45, after having a very close eye on proceedings, thanks to Dennis Itekin's ref cam view, we are still waiting for that first goal. It is all square between Stuttgart and Leipzig at half-time. Plenty of innovation on the pitch as well from Jan Diamande. Those tricks and twists and turns. We can expect more of the same in the second half, where we will potentially also be getting our first goal of the evening. We'll be back very shortly. The half-time score is Stuttgart 0, Leipzig 0.
Mario Gomez. been entertainment all the way so far. Shaqiri is waiting on the left, collects it. Oh, good play by Gomez! What a goal! Oh, Mario Gomez gives his doubters the right answer. A brilliant, brilliant goal from Mario Gomez. That was absolutely top draw attacking from the German #1 striker.
Marvellous hits for Rockets. Player having a special season. Timo Werner, Leipzig level from nowhere.
Soboslai, Campbell, looped forward, Werner, Timo Werner scores one of the goals of the season. You can put your house on that one. Out of nothing, just flicks it up, volleys it home. Kevin Campbell in the middle there. Having a great game today, but Timo Werner's 100th Bundesliga goal is one to savour. They'll be replaying that one many, many times this season. What a hit, what a goal, what a striker. 100 Bundesliga goals.
So many highlights in February. Well worth a watch. Best of the month in the Bundesliga. So far, March has been serving up plenty of treats as well. Just still waiting for a goal here in Stuttgart this evening. But so far this weekend, Leverkusen and Bayern shared the spoils in a thriller at the Bay Arena. Dortmund winning against Augsburg, but Hoffenheim dropping points at home to Wolfsburg. That was big news for both Stuttgart and Leipzig. So with Hoffenheim and Leverkusen, two of their direct rivals, dropping points this weekend, Stuttgart and Leipzig know that a win for either of them would put them in a very comfortable position inside the top four. Here is that table. Leipzig and Stuttgart, as we mentioned, starting the day level on points, separated by just 2 goals, but with the opportunity to at least draw level on points with Hoffenheim in third this evening and potentially open up a 5-point gap over Leverkusen. Down at the bottom, there were no winners in games involving Heidenheim, Wolfsburg, St. Pauli or Bremen, or Köln indeed. Mainz the only side in that bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to have won this weekend. We can have a look at the average positions, and Seb, you mentioned that how narrow it was through the middle for Stuttgart, with a specific ploy out wide.
They want to isolate, make sure that Führich or Leveling, number 10 on the left, 18 on the right, that they get their 1v1 situation. So that's why it's very narrow, which is a typical way of Stuttgart playing. But on the other side, you see a perfect 4-3-3. They can adapt and adjust to every situation.
So it is goalless at the MHP Arena. At half-time between Stuttgart and Leipzig, we've had plenty of interesting insights from Dennis Eitekin's ref cam in the first half. The only thing that we've been missing, of course, is a goal. But we're fairly confident we're going to see one in the second half. Here is that ref cam. And Dennis Eitekin waiting for the Leipzig players to enter the tunnel, and is just hurrying proceedings as well. Sharp blow of the whistle, and when Dennis Eitekin blows his whistle, you usually pay attention.
Usually, but you can hide in that tunnel in the Stuttgart Arena.
So the home side coming back out, led by the captain Atakan Karazor, longest serving player in the Stuttgart squad. And welcomed back by the almost 60,000 fans in one of Germany's most impressive stadiums. Dennis Undav and Brian Gruder sharing a joke. And both of them played for Brighton in the Premier League, of course. Brian Gruder arrived in the winter for Leipzig. This is the first game he started on the bench since his return to the Bundesliga. But a potent option off the bench for Ole Werner's side in that second half. And now Leipzig have heeded the call from Dennis Eitekin. Jan Diomande there, who one of the standout performers of the season in sparkling form. Scored in each of Leipzig's recent back-to-back victories in the Bundesliga, in Hamburg and in and at home to Augsburg last week. Both times Leipzig had to come from behind, show plenty of character to do so. David Raum, the captain. Direct rival with Maximilian Mittelstädt of Stuttgart for a place in Julian Nagelsmann's Germany squad. Mittelstädt, though, on the bench for Stuttgart this evening. Well, no wonder Dennis Eitekin couldn't hear what his colleagues were saying. Earpiece is back in now, and the camera is ready to roll. And Stuttgart get us back underway then in the second half at the MHP Arena. Still goalless between two of these close contenders for a top 4 finish in the Bundesliga. Both sides desperately keen to get back to the Champions League. Stuttgart played there last season. They had to make do with Europa League football this time around. Leipzig, of course, for the first time in their Bundesliga history, failed to qualify for European football at the end of last season. They had been in the Champions League 6 years running before that. Making early moves forward in this second half. This is Riedler Baku. Stiller with the clearance for Stuttgart. Dennis Undav to chase. Just trying to force the issue against Castello, who stands tall and firm. One well by Stiller ahead of Banzuzi, just gets his heels clipped as well. Rare start for Ezekiel Banzuzi, just 20 years of age. Came in the summer from Leuven in Belgium, where he was given the nickname the Leuvener Paul Pogba.
That was actually a good tackle. I mean, he's very athletic for his size, of his height, and great ball carrier. And on the other hand, for Stuttgart, the second half, they've got to be more precise in the final third. Only one shot on target in the first half, and came after the 40th minute. That's simply not good enough for this team, for that quality. Too many crosses that just flying into the 18-yard box, but no real address on it.
Stuttgart do, though, like to leave things late this season. They've scored 20 goals after the 76th minute. So we still believe we're going to see goals this afternoon. No changes at the break for either sides. Bakayoko, Gruder and Harder, plenty of attacking options for Ole Werner. It's on by Fürich. This is Demirovic. Dennis Undav clips it over for El Canus. Just loses his footing. Still waiting for his first Bundesliga goal since match day 14 is Bilal El Canus. It started in spectacular form since arriving from Leicester, initially on loan. Scored twice in his first 4 Bundesliga appearances, but then went off to the Africa Cup of Nations with Morocco. He's not scored since he came back. In the Bundesliga, at least, did get 2 goals in the Europa League against Celtic. Seiwald wins the ball confidently, but Stuttgart have it back. This is Leveling. Raum in pursuit, but Leveling gets the cross in. Just headed away by Castello. Leveling and Raum, potential Germany teammates at the World Cup. But tonight, direct rivals for a win that would go a long way towards either of these sides' ambitions of finishing in the top 4 and securing Champions League football. This is Fürich.
Yeah, and you mentioned just the left-back position for the national team. And there's that competition between David Raum and Maxi Mittelstädt. And Maxi Mittelstädt has been on the bench for quite a few games this season, and he's not happy.
This is Demirovic. It's fallen kindly for him. And Undav on the follow-up. Snatched at the shot, but the first half chance of the second half.
Again, sloppy passing, and all of a sudden, yeah, you get that situation. It's a difficult one to take.
It sat up nicely for Dennis Undav. Just got underneath it. It's a big topic of conversation while we were on about the German national side, that Dennis Undav wasn't mentioned specifically by Julian Nagelsmann. We'll get to that later, just as Chris Führich makes strides forward for Stuttgart. The cutback is cut out by Banzuzi. El Canus. Führich's cross is headed away by Willi Orban. It's down by Demirovic. It's a Stiller. Leveling. Just wanted to wind one up. Given confidence by that free kick at the end of the first half that he, from an awfully long way out, got on target.
And they have scored already 7 goals this season from outside the box, which, of course, gives you the confidence to shoot.
Diomande to chase this one. Nubel had to come out to clear. Stuttgart, as we can see, quicker to win the ball back. 14 seconds is Leipzig's average for the season.